Welcome in. Thanks for joining us for the latest edition of the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. The big political story, both locally and statewide this year, could well be the number of women running for office in the overwhelmingly male state legislature. 55% of the voting population of the state's women, yet only 15% of the legislature's female. Beaufort County might actually be leading the way in this resurgence, with more than a handful of women candidates. Of the 170 legislators in Columbia, only 27 are women, the fourth worst percentage in the country. As recently as 2012, there were no women in the state Senate. The head of the Beaufort County Democratic Party says it was not intentional to have so many women run this year, just happened organically, with women choosing to step up and run. Nearly all of the male state representatives in the Lowcountry face female Democratic opposition. Even Republican Shannon Erickson in Beaufort will face a woman Democratic challenger. The fleets have been blessed, but now most South Carolina shrimp fishermen are hoping to be blessed by the government as the fishermen fight off foreign suppliers of farm-raised shrimp that have sunk prices to new lows in the Lowcountry. That's good for us consumers. It is bad for our fishing industry. With a pound of prawns going for only $1 and diesel costing more than $3.50 a gallon, it is literally sinking the shrimping fleet in the Lowcountry. The Southern Shrimp Alliance is working on a federal level to get the area declared a fishery resource disaster, which would allow local shrimpers to receive financial relief payments. The South Carolina Shrimpers Association is supporting higher tariffs on foreign imported shrimp, but a bill declaring the shrimping industry in the state an economic disaster is tied up in a House committee and will likely not be acted on by the end of this legislative session. Beaufort police are still investigating a curious shooting over the weekend where a gunshot victim was actually dropped off at Beaufort Memorial Hospital by a Jeep that was later found about 3 miles away. A group of people then were detained. The incident occurred in a residential area between Rebo Road and Spanish Moss Trail. Very few other details have been released. Beaufort County is getting a new library, the 6th in its system, in Port Royal. It'll be named after former Port Royal Mayor Samuel Murray, who was a member of the town council there for 18 years and then served as mayor for 6 consecutive terms. The new library will be located at 1408 Paris Avenue. The county is hoping to have it open this summer and is also exploring new library sites in Burton and Okatee. The last vestige of the Cross Island Parkway, the old office for the toll administrators, is coming down any day now. Hilton Head town officials hope to convert the land into green space with more landscaping and other enhancements. The old office demolition should not impact traffic on the parkway. You're not sure if you knew this, I didn't, but there used to be underground tunnels from that office building to the toll booths so that toll collectors did not have to cross traffic. Those tunnels have since been filled in. The only other toll road in the state now, the connector between I-85 and I-385 in Greenville. And we've unfortunately become all too familiar with mourning the deaths of people who have built the Lowcountry that we live in now. Some of our best, though, are not just governmental leaders, but people like Steve Brown, who owned a catering company and market and a pizza parlor up on Boundary Street in Beaufort, but spent much of his time making friends. He was killed earlier in April when his motorized wheelchair was hit by a car crossing Rebo Road. He originally refused medical services, but later that day he did complain about pain, was taken to Beaufort Hospital and then to MUSC where he later died. He was only 74. Friends said his outsized personality had a way to turn bad days into good ones with his famous "How you doing, darlings?" greeting. And he became well known on Facebook during the COVID pandemic for sharing Southern recipes as the Lowcountry Chef. For more details on these stories and other Lowcountry news, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. We're going to talk sports a little bit later on, but first let's get a look at the weather after a marvelous weekend. Could we continue it on through this week, Maria Soden?
Thanks, Bob. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it is going to be warmer this week with the highs being in the upper 70s to mid 80s, but we are going to be seeing quite a few showers and thunderstorms as well. So taking a look at Tuesday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy throughout the day, but then we are going to see a thunderstorm roll through our area in the evening. Hilton's going to have a high of 78, a low of 66. Bluffton's of a high of 80, a low of 63. And Beaufort's of a high of 79 and a low of 65. The sunrise for Tuesday is going to be at 6:37 and sunset's going to be at 8:03. Taking a look at the tides, low tide's going to be at 10:07 a.m. and high tide's going to be at 2:53 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week, Wednesday, we're going to see scattered showers in the morning, and then it's going to continue on later in the afternoon. Highs going to be in the 80s, lows in the 60s. Then come Thursday, it's going to be partly cloudy with highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s again. And then come Friday, it's going to be scattered showers in the morning, should be clearing up by the afternoon, and then we are going to see some more showers later in the evening. Highs will be in the 80s, lows in the 60s. That's it for today. Let's head back to the desk.
We're going to talk sports and deal with your anxiety a little later on in the show. But up next, an art market unlike any you are used to seeing in the Lowcountry. Stay with us.